Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us today. This is As Above, So Below. This is Mercury. We want to say salutation to my Madrina, to my Padrino, to my Oba, and to all of my brothers and sisters in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Palo, Music, and Adjays. To each and every one of you guys, this platform is for melanated people, and this is where we teach universal laws to each and every one of you guys. Salutations, my air signs, my water signs, my earth sign. What's up, my Sagittarius from Detroit, my fire sign? Thank you so very much for being here with us on today. This is usually our Bible study day. Um, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys that has been supporting our Ogun. What some of you guys that got your Apollo membership, got your Orisha membership, or your Haitian Voodoo membership, you are more than welcome to get your Ogun stick. I just excited about all the things that are going on, and when people see these lives, one of the things that people forget, um, they forget I'm a Sagittarius, Moon in Aries, and rising sign Pisces, and I want to let you know that energy matters. These messages and this insight that I share with melanated people is because people are telling me that they want to do better. They want to live a better reality. They want to really understand magic. They really want to. I've been doing magic ever since I was like 3 to 4 years old. I'm 52 years of age. I have been properly operating, executing the black arts. Thank you so much for the likes. Um, for about since I would say about 48 years. But I'm initiated into various tradition. I am definitely crowned my Fedifun Yanza Oya, and I'm also crowned Babalu Aye Saint Lazarus. But I'm here because Mercury. I want to talk about the air element, but I want to talk about it in the context of manifestation, and to all of those that are trying to learn conjure, and I want to explain it in a way that even whether you're a beginner, whether you're intermediate or advanced, or you're atheist, or you're somebody on the sideline just trying to understand the premise behind manifestation and spirituality, and bringing bigger and bigger realities to pass, whether you be doing it by prophecy, the spoken word, whether you're doing it by petitions that you write out, or whether you're doing it as a group or corporate manifestation. These are very important to anybody that has a desire to learn the truth and what it is to be melanated. I want to talk about smarts versus intelligence. And I want to talk about intelligence for a moment, if you will. Everybody has the capacity to learn, to use, facilitate intellect. And what I mean by that, the mind can be programmed. One of the universal laws that I utilize with this manifestation is all is mind, and energy cannot be destroyed. And what that concept is talking about, the state of your mental faculties, and how people can be programmed from one generation to the next generation. And a lot of the perceived curses that you see in families, they don't understand. You have been groomed for poverty. You have been groomed for a lack of better term, poor health. You have been groomed to be single parent homes. You have been groomed not to be unified because the mind can be programmed. And people that understand universal laws understand the necessity of actually identifying why you think the way that you think. Why do you act upon the thoughts that you're acting upon? And when you understand energy, frequency, and vibration, you understand the why the masses can be programmed. This is why white supremacy can still exist over 500 years. The reason being because you can be programmed to think the way that you think without thinking. I'm going to say this again. If you have a cell phone, you can have programs running in the back and yet be using another program that is visible, and I call that your conscious mind. The programs in the back is what we will call your subconscious mind. There can be ideas, there can be images, there can be perceptions that are running in the background of your mind and you not be cognizant of those programs. But they're yet feeding off your mental energy. One of the things that we try to do as utilizing these sciences is to discern what is going on in the psyche. I got a spiritual class, psychic class coming up, and being able to read not just what somebody is doing, but also discern why they doing it. Because a lot of people do things, and let me explain this. Education is something you can be programmed. Let me explain. When you are being educated, you're being given a curriculum whereby with you process the information. So if your ability does not extend, or your education does not extend to solving your problems, then you are limited, or you are hindered from actually getting your problems resolved. So let me explain this. The reason why I'm saying this, because you can be trained or conditioned about African spiritualities, and even though you know they are very beneficial, but the way you have been conditioning your mind, you're going to always perceive it as demonic. And the reason why I keep bringing this up, because in order for melanated people to embrace their spirituality, you must understand the conditions of your mind. You must understand the thoughts, the mindsets, the images that you hold dear, and that you are still allowing to run in the background of your mind. And this is what's really manifesting in your present life, because it's not so much as what's on your conscious mind, it's those things that you have impressed upon your subconscious mind. If you understand energy, frequency, and vibration, you would understand the necessity of this. One of the things that I wanted to address that first, because I want to show you the variations between somebody having intelligence, versus somebody having smarts. Smarts is when you are able to apply your intelligence, which means you're intelligent enough to learn from your job, the type of business that you're in, but you're smart enough to start working for yourself. I'm going to say that again. You can get the training and not be smart enough to come out the box. You can get the tutelage and not be creative enough to build upon what you were taught or you were trained. When you have smarts, it is like the High John the Conqueror. People don't understand that ability. That means you're witty. That means you're clever. The symbol would be the fox. They say you can't outfox the fox. When melanated people become not only intelligent, but they become smart about the intelligence. They don't allow other people to program them. I'm going to say that again. You being intelligent is not the threat. You being smart about your intelligence is the threat. Once black melanated people understand who they are and begin to apply those smarts or that cleverness, that discerning, and so at that point, they know when to hold them, know when to fold them. See, our ancestor was not only smart, but they weren't just intelligent, they were smart to hide our traditions behind Catholicism. So does voodoo or the saints in the church, even though they knew consciously and subconsciously that they were calling on our African deities. But because of intelligence, a lot of our people cannot discern the codes. So they don't realize that grandma was still calling on, or granddaddy was still calling on the crossroads spirit. And they would get certain pantheons or saints that represented their particular African deity, even though they were disguising it up under our practice, our African practice. You just can't be intelligent, because that means that you have the mental capacity to gain information. See, with Gemini is an aspect of mental energy that I'm doing just fine. Gemini is an aspect of the mind that traffics a lot of thoughts. And Geminis have the ability to operate from both sides of their brain, which means their logic side and their intuitive side. And so being able to make logic of intuition is a powerful energy. I tell people a lot of times, and I'm gonna use the example. A lot of times Geminis are called liars and two-facers. So let me explain. A Gemini can relate to the mindset of anybody. Wherever their mindset, whether high or low, they can perceive that mindset. A Gemini will say things to please people. So let me explain it like this in manifestation. You can say this about Donald Trump. You can call him a liar. But this man, a Gemini, has the capacity through salesmanship, through his words, to sell people Bibles, and he tells them he's not a Christian. Geminis tell you what you want to hear. The reason why you're hook, line, and sinker in the words that Gemini says, because they know that it's your mentality, and so therefore you are drawn in because they already know that's what's on your mind, and they say the things that you're already believing. I'm gonna say that again. If you did not believe, if you didn't have certain mindsets, then the Gemini could not trigger you. We're talking about Mercury energy. The fact that they know where your mindset is, and then they tell you things align with your mindset, that's how they get you to do what they want you to do. Same thing about a Virgo. A Virgo is also ruled by Mercury. I want y'all to understand magic and manifestation. So a Virgo is a very analytical person, and they are detail-based. And they are considered, they have the ability to bring a thought into reality. In other words, through planning and preparation, a Virgo brings things to pass. A Gemini, through their words, manifests. If you understood the energy, the frequency, and the vibration, then you understand the manifestation and how we utilize the air element in our manifestation. The reason why people are more interested in being intellectual, because you don't have to have fruit. Because you can be well educated and still working at my McDonald's. You can have very little education and got smarts, and you a millionaire. I'm going to say that again. Because you have the intellectual capacity to gather information and knowledge doesn't make you smart. But if you are smart, you can take little of what you have and build a lot, and build an empire. I remember my mom was a Virgo. I remember my mom showing me. We had a family of a friend of the family that grew up around us, and we had a lot more. Let me clue you in. So, and he was inspired not only by us, but he was inspired by my uncles and all that. But he started cutting hair. What's up, my Miss Whitney? And so he started cutting hair. I didn't let him cut my hair initially. But he took his smarts and he built a clientele base. While because I was gifted in talent, and that my mom told me, because she's a Virgo. She said, you got too many talents, and you need to figure out what you want to do. And then you need to move forward. When you are good at a lot of things, a lot of times you don't get nothing done. The more talented you are doesn't mean that you're going to actually produce in your life. Until you get smart about your gift, your talent, and your ability, then you're going to see things come to pass. And I had to learn my gifts and where they were applied. So he ended up buying his own car. He ended up buying his own house. He ended up owning his own barbershop. All that because he was smart. He recognized his intelligence, but he also recognized, I don't have to have what they have in order to have something in this thing called life. That's smart. And he has a lot of respect for some of us, but I have an immense respect for him because I know where he did not come from. He was smart enough. Because let me tell y'all something. When you smart, the Bible says it like this. Why would God give you your own when you're not faithful over another's man? You don't have to own anything to learn something. A lot of you guys are looking at what other people have instead of learning. Being smart about the opportunities that are presented to you. Being smart about the time space of learning. Being smart about investments. And reason I say that, because you keep blaming your reality on people, places, and things, and not blaming yourself for not being smart about what you learned, what you were exposed to. He did not have tangibly anything can be compared to what we had. But he didn't have to. He took the very things and learned ambition. He took the very thing he saw and wanted a better life. See, you can, with your intelligent, you can learn about economics. When you're smart, you'll take 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread and still feed the 5,000. You will take 15 cents and make $1 out of it. When you're smart, you will take a little of something and make much out of it, because you have learned the 4 seasons. You have learned opportunity. When it knocks, answer. When you are smart, you get up early and seek him while he may be found. See, people gaining information, because we're in the age of Aquarius, and there's a whole lot of information out there. And you're not smart enough to have an ear to hear what's good for you. I'm going to say that again. When I say smart, I mean discerning. Information can come. You don't know if it's misinformation. You don't know if it's tested information because you're not clever yet. You have not had enough of experience with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Like my spiritual dad said, you don't get smart until you get 65. I'm going to say it again. You don't get smart until you get 65. You got to live. When people acting smart and they ain't got experience, this is why they can't decipher right from wrong. This is why they can't decipher good from bad, because they're not smart. I don't know if you've seen the movie Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I almost said nigger. And the Predator, there was a trap that he was setting for the Predator. But the Predator had smarts. He was a warrior himself. He was a hunter himself. If you smart, how you getting caught up in certain snares and traps? A person can lay a snare or a trap for you all day long, but if you got the wherewithal and you're paying attention, because an Aquarius is an observer, were you paying attention enough to realize it was a trap? A financial trap, a spiritual trap, an economic trap. You can't claim wisdom when you keep falling for the snares or the traps or the pits. I realize that in order for you to understand what I'm saying, you have to decipher what's a Gemini and what's a Virgo. You have to respect the intellect. Thank you so much, baby. You have to. This is why I resonate with certain people and certain people I don't resonate with, and it's simply because they are intelligent. They can be programmed. They can be conditioned. But very few people that are smart, they can be in the matrix, but not of the matrix. I'm going to say it again. They can be in this world, but not of it. See, I'm in voodoo, but I'm not in voodoo enough that I can't learn something else outside of voodoo. That means that you got to think outside the box. That's where creativity comes into play. You can make an apartment look like a mansion with the right creativity. I've seen people that understand math. They can make the counter look longer than what it is. They can make the bathroom look more spacious than what it is, because they have the cleverness or the intellect. And somebody think they get more when they really getting less. Come on here, Miss Whitney. Let me tell y'all something. What's going to happen in the age of technology is the right people that are smart are going to grasp the information that are passing through the social media. I was wise enough and smart enough to take the information that I learned about Dr. Sebi to apply it. When you are being doused with information and you don't know how to decipher what's good for you. I had this old Jamaican man tell me, he was an apostle at the time. He told me this, and I'm going to give y'all some wisdom. He told me, son, and he was, at the time he was talking to me, I'll never forget it. he was eating a mango, a Jamaican eating a mango, and the mango was so juicy, the juice was running down, and he was getting it, but he was talking to me. I was able to observe what he was doing, but I was listening, because I grew up in a family. You got to have intellect, so and wisdom. So he was telling me, he said, son, I was telling him about what I was dealing with in the church world, and he said these words that I hold to this day. He said, son, you got to learn how to eat the meat and spit out the bone. He only had to tell me that one time. I started processing. He said, learn to eat the meat and spit out the bones. In life, if you were smart enough, you can eat the meat that is nutritious and healthy to you, just to sustain you, and get rid of the bones of the fish that can lodge in your throat. There are some things you begin to chew and realize it had this particular meat got some bone. That's why he said, eat the meat and spit out the bone. Don't swallow the bones with the meat. Have enough wisdom to know with people, places, and things, if they got some good surrounded by some drama, take the good and leave the drama. Huh? If somebody has a trade or a skill, but they're really not a good businessman or woman, take the trade or the skill and get and spit out their bad business habits. You can learn a lot about people, whether you consider them good or evil. And the wise people know how to decipher. My brothers, my other brothers and sisters, my spiritual dad I had when I was 13. And one of the things that they had a problem with was his personality. They could not learn his spiritual knowledge and trade because they couldn't get past his personality. You got to respect somebody's ability, but you may not like how they function in life. It still doesn't take away from their ability. What people want to do with Donald Trump is discount his ability because you don't like his policy or you don't like the way he does. You can, I don't care if it's white supremacy. My point is, in this era of time, you need to be smart. My grandmother used to say, work smart, not hard. You should, after a certain amount of time, make your life easier and easier to function in. At some time in your life, you should look at the people around your life and ask yourself, is it wise to continue this friendship? Is it wise to continue to have these people in my company, in my presence? And nobody can make up your mind but you. Nobody can identify the thoughts and the patterns of the way you think but you. And then when those readings are you get from psychic people, come and you get your reading and they identify these things, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to be intellectual about it, or are you going to be smart about it? A lot of people can learn a lot of things from certain people, but they're not smart. You can learn from your teachers if you were smart, but you're so intellectual because you think you already know what they're going to do and what they're going to say. You end up undermining leadership, and that's not smart. You could cross many, many bridges with the help of elders if you were smart. If you were smart, you would help those that help you, that are in a position to get you to certain places in life way quicker and way wiser than you could on your own. Because you have the ability to read a book. I was listening. I did not comment on this young man's platform because I'm not here trying to police anything. But I want you to be smart enough to understand this. Books are created to sell. Magic is a lifestyle. It's not glamorous. It's just like karate. It's a way of life. It's like yoga. It's a way of life. You got to be able to discern what they got in them books to sell and the information that's in those books that may be useful. And the only people that really know what's useful and what they're using to sell is the people that actually do magic. The people that magic is a part of their everyday life. I'm gonna say it again. I can point you to a book and then turn around and tell you what in that book to listen to and what in that book you can't listen to. And my spiritual dad taught me this. He said when you do what's in that book and you can do it intellectually, you follow all the instructions. But that book ain't gonna tell you what to do if that is a verse on you. You're gonna figure that out. See, when you learn magic by books and audios and you don't have creativity, then after you've read all you can read, how do you stand? But if you learn many, as my grandma would say, many ways to skin a cat, and if one thing don't work, you know several other things to do. But if you're going based off book knowledge, you don't know how limited that information is. You also don't know how useful. And I don't understand. Everybody got to make a sale. But I want you to be conscious, melanated people, that first of all, any truth tradition cannot give away secrets. So it's only so much abstract knowledge and abstract information that those books can share. The most people that put information out are Caucasian people, because they're not their secrets that they learn. They learn stuff from us. And so therefore, they print that information. I'm going to say it again. When you invite certain people to cook out and you tell them the recipe, now they going to make money off of your recipe because you divulge the information. But I ain't here to tell you what to do. I'm a Sagittarius, moon in Aries, and rise sign Pisces. I'm just telling you, if you were smart, you would keep your cards close to the vest. But when you want everybody to know that you know something, and you don't want everybody to know that you spiritual, because you got a mouth you speak, because you're not smart. Thank you so much. Go. All right now. I want you to be smart. When you learn up under me, it's about, I play chess. I don't play checkers in spirituality. I'm going to say that again. I'm here to give knowledge, wisdom, understanding. But when I implement that knowledge, wisdom, understanding, I implement it being smart. When people think I have divulged information, that's because they don't know me. They don't know my training. I would never share something that can derail me. I would never share something. I talk to Mother Susan almost every day. She been around me for 5 years. And she ain't got enough information on me to get me a misdemeanor. She can't even get up. She ain't got enough information on me in 5 years to even haul me into court. And I talk to her and I give her a lot of knowledge, wisdom, understanding. But I would never entrap myself because I'm smart. I'm going to say it again. You can teach people magic and be smart about it. My spiritual dad told me, he said, I would never teach you nothing to overthrow me. I don't care how wise you think I am, how knowledgeable, all that. You don't know the stuff I don't talk about. You don't know the stuff I don't display. Because at the end of the day, a wise man wins a soul. I'm not where I am because I've been a fool all my life. Thank you so much. I'm going to say it again. To think that certain people got where they got in life, no matter whether you think they're good or bad, they're not a fool. Intellect is one thing. Smarts, knowing how to apply that intellect and when to apply it and who to apply it with. Some of y'all don't even know your elders are setting traps for you. Because they've been telling you about your ego. They've been telling you about things that you shouldn't do. I'm always looking for people to train. And so I sit back and I put things out. Because if they smart enough, they're going to catch it. And if they ain't smart enough, I don't want them to be my student. It's just that simple. If you ain't smart enough to catch a hint, when you ain't smart enough to buy a vowel, when you don't have the mental capacity to have understanding, you ain't smart enough to be my student. Because I love smart people. Being smart about your money, being smart about your time, being smart about your relationships, all that's important to me. You know why? Because those people that are smart have selective friends. Those people that are smart have standards. And they don't want anybody to cause them to lower their standards. People that are smart always have a ram in the thicket. And people that are smart, always, if they fall, they know how to get back up. Because they did the work to get where they got. So therefore, before that they fall, they can always brush themselves off and reclimb that ladder. If you were smart, you would be trying to learn. Because you're intelligent, all you do is regurgitate the same information. Some of y'all think certain people are smart and they are nothing but regurgitators of information. The person, the man or the woman that's smart is the one that has applied that information and got results from that information. And that's when I call it knowledge. What are you doing with your life? What do you want to be done with your life? It's your energy, your frequency, and your vibration. And if you're really trying to learn magic, then be smart enough to catch the clues. Sometimes you got to stop. You just can't try to answer the puzzle or the phrase. Sometimes you got to buy a vowel to make sure. Smart people make sure. Virgos make sure. Sometimes you got to stop in life and buy a vowel. Because sometimes you think it's one thing and it can be another. And you got to have enough resources to even buy that vowel. And this is why I tell all my people that follow me, you got to have some money. Always protect your finances and your health. Those are the two most important elements in every man's and woman's life. It's your finances and your health. And if your enemy gonna take you down or try to take you down, they got to either do one or the other or both. And if they can get both of those aspects of your life, 9 times out of 10 you ain't coming out. Because if they were smart enough to get you hemmed up in those kind of traps, that means you were not being smart. And you deserve the day you have. Don't get so caught up in your emotions that you ain't being smart about your emotions. Don't let somebody bait you with your own emotions. Don't let somebody bait you with your own innate abilities. Don't let somebody take your own ambition and use it against you. Somebody said, I want to call you later after I get off work. You ain't got to call me because my number ain't listed. You go to my website. That's the quickest way to track me down. I want y'all to understand. Don't let somebody use your own strength against you. That's not wise. That's not clever. That's not smart. Sometimes people can know how passionate you are about your children and try to use your passion for your children to ensnare you. This is why I teach my children to be wise. Don't let somebody use your anger and you being upset with me to get into my life. That I'm so distracted that I'm dealing with you, my child, that somebody else tried to cut my neck off. Because that wasn't your intention. But somebody will use your misbehavior and my focus on my child to get me distracted. And I don't see them coming. But there's a lie. Please do yourself a favor. Sir and ma'am. Use knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. But be smart. Know who to disclose certain things to and who not to. And if you choose them, give them only so much information. If I'm a reader, I'm a seer, and one of the things that I astonish people is how much I really know. And my oldest son said this, he's a Cancer. He said, my dad can know something for 2 years and he'll never tell you. I learned, my spiritual dad taught me that. You will never know how deep I can see. If you want to know how much I know, watch how I move. If I know you ain't good for me, you're going to find me getting more distance and more distance and more distance. Minister Mario knew me for 13 years. And he never knew enough to derail me because I'm a matriarch. He never knew enough spiritual information to cause me harm. And I trusted him more than I trusted anybody. And that includes my first wife, my second wife. And he earned that trust with me. But I'm telling you, because I know my role, I know my position, it's only so much I can trust anybody. And I allow him to be in a lot of my business. But if something went left, I was going to be able to stand. I was going to be able to make it. Hurt, betrayed, all of them feelings. But I'm a wise man. And I was taught by wise women and men. Y'all need to be smart in these spiritual streets. And you can't get smart unless somebody teach you how to listen. And why you should be listening. And why you should be paying attention. And let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you out of experience. Stop not getting the things you need from other sources that have been tried and proven. What's up, my Chris? That's my Sagittarius from Philadelphia. And my fellow UPS man. Well, I'm retired now. After 30 years. Let me explain it to you. Only somebody that got your best interests at heart can guide you. And they got to be able to tell you the truth. And therefore, you got to have an ear to listen to them. Even when you disagree with them. Even when you think you know better. Trust your ignorance. Trust your real elder. Not people you talking about, oh, I like him, I like her. You don't even know me. I tell people all the time, oh, I want to be a student. I said, go watch the Karate Kid. Miyagi, you Daniel-san. And some people will watch it. Some people think they watch it. You didn't get the nectar from that movie. Daniel was never going to learn Kung Fu until he got past what he thought he knew about Kung Fu. You're never going to learn spirituality until you get past what you think you already know. So you can be conditioned and groomed for spirituality. As long as you already think you already know, and you don't even know the mysteries of heaven. Sometimes I drop knowledge, wisdom, understanding to show people that think they know that they don't know a damn thing. Because I'm a smart man. I already know you think you know. I already think you know you done comprehended. All you do is have the intellect to regurgitate what I've said. You don't know how to apply in your life because your reality would change. If you understood what I was saying, then you would have another outcome than the one you have. Because you're able to have a photographic memory doesn't make you smart. There's a man that got his doctorates in medicine, not because he was smart. He had a photographic memory. And so he remembered everything he was in the book. That didn't make him smart. You being able to copycat somebody don't make you smart. Because you are your own individual energy. My spiritual dad told me, he said, watch what I'm doing. He said, because you're going to have your own style. Do I have some of his traits? Absolutely. But I also have my own energy in those recipes. In that conjure. Because you can't stand on somebody else. You can only stand on you. I'm going to say that again. You can't stand on somebody else's beliefs and who they are. You can only stand on what you and who you are. Ain't nothing wrong with learning from people. But we're mirror reflections of each other. But I wanted to come on here today because this is as above, so below mercurial energy. And this is about Mercury and my Bible study day. And I wanted to come on here because I want to share some love with my TikTok followers. I do realize that I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But everybody's not meant to sip from this cup. And if you find yourself sipping from my cup, that means that you are resonating with my energy. If this cup is too hot for you, it's a fire element. Wait till it cool down, and it will never cool down. So every teacher is not for every person, even though the information may be good for you. You don't have enough fortitude, stability, and you're not in a position in your life to be molded, and I don't have time to teach somebody that's gonna go another way. I'm 52 years old. I need a predecessor. I need somebody that gonna learn. I want real students. You ain't got to agree with me. I just need you to respect me. I don't need you to see it the way I see it. I just need you to respect me. See, I don't need mindless people. I need you to be able to think for yourself. I need you to know your individual energy. But I also need you to respect my role in your life. And it's just that simple. And if you wise, you're going to catch on. Elisha was wise. And even though Elijah tried to discourage him to go back with the rest of the prophets, he stuck it out. And he ended up getting his mantle and a double portion of that mantle. In my book, that's wise. Because if that's the goal and you end up with the goal, you did your part. You did your part. If Donald Trump can sell Bibles to people that do everything against the Bible and its teaching, I'm not a hater. Sell them Bibles. I'm a pastor and they won't buy Bibles from me. Did you hear me? I can sell and push conjure, but them same people would not take a Bible from me. And don't get mad at him because he's selling gold tennis shoes because somebody buying them. He wouldn't be putting them out there if nobody wasn't buying them. Don't hate on nobody because you holler about, well, I wouldn't do it like you are a Gemini. You're not a Gemini, respect that. You're not a Taurus, respect that. You're not a Scorpio, respect that. Have enough wisdom. Everybody got something to survive in. America wouldn't get no money, and Russia did. He still got to make it. Don't hate on somebody trying to survive. Don't hate on somebody that realized that somebody coming after them and they get in position to cut that person off. Who wouldn't do it? Who ain't gonna try to save their own skin? I don't care what they done. Like, make that make sense. Why you think we ain't got our 40 acres and a mule? You think it's all about racism? No. Why would I give you the capital necessary to do your own thing? If you get do your own thing, you're gonna start from the bottom. If we melanated people are excelling in spite of the oppression, why would they give us 40 acres in the mule? Yes, it belongs to us. I get that. But I'm saying, why would they make it easy for you to be returned to glory? To be a goddess or God? They're not gonna make it easy. Who really helping us is China. Right now, God using China. Because we getting a lot of nutrients that our melanated body needs out of China. American stuff is poison to us melanated people. Those that have resources, y'all know what I'm talking about. Only reason why it's popular on TikTok because people are able to make money off it. But if it was left up to them, they would not be selling them kind of products because a lot of melanated people getting a hold of them and it's changing our lives. Dr. Sebi changed my life. He helped me go to a whole nother level in my health. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the gifts. Thank you for being with me. I will have this on my YouTube channel. If you are truly a follower and want to follow me to my YouTube account. That's where my real support team is. And go to my website. I really want y'all to get those egg on sticks so I can show these people what I really have the power and knowledge to do. I want y'all to thank you, Chris. I want y'all to step up in your melanin and make sure that you are being wise. I am. She said, my other Sagittarius says so she can send a video to her grandmother. All right, baby. I thank you. I'll upload it and get it to you.